Are you good?
Yep.
Eric, you good? Nate, you good? All right, Coach, open statement, we're good?
Good evening, everybody. Good morning. We're still on morning. Wanted to, last week was a rough week all around. Just didn't get the guys out to play. And it was a lot of adversity that we couldn't overcome. Thought we was trying to, we started the game almost 2 hours after the time we were supposed to start. You're in a very small locker room, families coming by, not having, any the food and stuff like that to get them going again, or the expectation to play. And when they got out, it was just flat, just never recovered. And Kennesaw, took advantage of that. Us not being ready to play, and pretty much ran it down our throat. And we'll get back. The team that was there, the guys I thought still played hard, just didn't have anything at point of contact because of everything that was going on. And in spite of, we still got to find a way to get them to play, regardless of whatever the situation is. So, that's a lesson learned. And probably in the 20 or 30 years, I've never been in a game that took 2 hours to play. And most of the time when you're preparing your team, you feed them 4 hours before contest with the expectation that they've digested their food and they're ready to go. And now when you line them down, it's 6 hours. And, it just took its toll on us, and we got to find a way to get through it.
All right, Coach, you played two of the top ranked teams in the country. Kennesaw ranked high in FCS, Auburn, and FBS. You hit SWAC play. Just talk about the morale of your teams, back-to-back blowout losses, the morale that you have to get this team to play going into SWAC play this week.
Well, you have to be honest with them. You can't making excuses. The information that I gave you is just giving you guys a climax of what went on at the game. But for them, that's what we have to do. We have to perform. So whether it's 2 hours before the game or 2 hours after the start, we got to find a way that we're ready to go. And whether you lose the 2 ranked teams or 2 unranked teams, it hurts morale. So you have to find, we have to find a way to get back on that win side. And the road don't get any easier. Now we go into Grambling, who's won the championship the last couple of years, and we got to be fine on all cylinders. So in this stuff, when you have to have a short-term memory, win or lose, and especially after the 2 losses that we have to pull all the positives out of that and move forward to Grambling. And the thing that I can continue to tell the guys is not a loss unless you didn't learn a lesson. What is the lesson in that situation? And we'll take our lessons and we'll move to Grambling.
Coach, what are your biggest concerns about Grambling going into the game?
It's Grambling. They know how to win. I mean, you got a team that has won 25 consecutive conference games, has been either the winner of the national championship or runner-up. So they know how to win, and we're playing them for their season opener in Grambling. So with everything around that, we have to go in and play our game and eliminate the crowd. We have to get our guys ready to play and play mistake-free football where we're going in to be the champion.
How much impact does it have to go from a team that was option, what Kennesaw does, to now you're flipping back to something completely opposite? It's like you said the other day about going from Auburn and what they run to now Kennesaw to now you're going to Grambling.
That triple option is one of those films that it's not going. It really doesn't benefit us that much once we finish it, because we don't have anybody else other than South that runs a small portion of it. But it really doesn't benefit Grambling as much either, because the rules and the attack of the triple option is totally different than any other attack that you see. Some of the play action passes that they got up the sideline on us in Kennesaw, unless you run an option, you don't get that threat. They threaten us with defending the wide field option, and now as you come up, they throw it. I mean, so it's, that's a whole different ball game. Even from the way that they block. I mean, you're cutting guys, and the whole key is to get everybody on the ground, and not that it's not, the cut series with Grambling, they all cut you here or there, but it's not the same attack. Triple option is definitely one of the biggest attacks in any sport, and you'll see teams, your Georgia Southerns and your Georgia Techs. Those guys are running, navies. When you get smaller guys and with athleticism with triple option, you got a great threat.
You all are now going into SWAC play minus the non-conference game coming up with South Alabama, October 13th. Do you feel that these past 2 games have prepared you all enough to come into SWAC play with a lot of energy and to match up a little better with the other SWAC teams?
I think the past 3 games have really prepared us for SWAC play. You know, we're going to see zone, we're going to see air raid and stretch offense when we get in conference play. We're going to see a bare front, multiple 4, 2s, and 3s. So those last 3 games has definitely prepared us for what we plan to see or anticipate on seeing from SWAC play with coming up, even starting this weekend.
Coach, defense has given up a lot of yards and points the last 2 weeks. Do you think it's something more of mentality or is it scheme-wise that you need to change going into Grambling?
No, I mean, again, this last week was triple option. If you miss a play, it goes for a touchdown, as you saw. Week before that, it was power 5. So we're not going to throw the baby out with the wash. We're going to line down, and we're back in conference play where people have the same concerns we had. So now we'll check and balance ourselves as we get back in conference play.
How much of an emphasis are you putting in to improving the ground game? Under 3 yards a carry this past weekend, how much do you guys focus in on the rushing attack?
You know what, the thing about it, with that, you have to have balance. So we have to find a way to have balance, run and pass attack. And, the biggest thing, with Ezra, teams are going to key on Ezra. So we have to add some things to open the run up, and as well as if they're close to the box, we have to find a way to throw the ball down the field and get behind them. So, we're looking for balance on our offensive side.
Are you maybe looking to switch the quarterbacks? Because, DJ Pearson is not really much of a passing quarterback. He's an option read quarterback. So are you looking to maybe switch things up in that way to maybe stretch the field?
Well, the thing about it, you have to find the things your quarterbacks can do. We're fortunate enough where if it comes down that we have to switch a guy and to get another threat, we will. The key is trying to find the things that DJ can do that we can benefit from the experience. And, one will say, well, he's a option quarterback where he had almost 200 yards passing against, Tuskegee. He started out over 60% in that game and then about the same in Auburn. And he was the one through the touchdowns this week. So we just have to find the things that he can do and hang our hat on that. The biggest thing that we have to clean up in the quarterback position is the turnovers. We've had 3 turnovers at that position the last 2 weeks, and we can't afford that.
How excited are you now? This is the point that you've been saying all season, is this is where the goals begin. These first few games and an impact of the goal, the division, the conference championship. How excited are you now to continue to preach that message starting this week?
Well, the thing about it, the guys, you can see the excitement and the bounce in their steps, and it's not that all the games are not important. They're all important. We want to win them all, but we still want to keep things in perspective. As we get back into conference play, that this is what these are the ones for the marbles, and we want to be. Have guys ready to go. We have about, my biggest goal those first 3 games was trying to get the entire team to the field. Right now we got like 4 guys out for the year. So I'm now trying to reshuffle the team that I looked at before. I'm trying to now put eyes on a new team. So, everything comes at a price, and, those 3 games came at a price for us.
How has that transition been, trying to kind of mold those guys stepping up to the plate for those injured 4 players?
The key is, when guys move up, they understand. Most of those guys have been waiting on their opportunity to get the reps. So we hadn't just started repping those guys. They weren't the first tier reps, so they may have gotten 5 reps a period opposed to 10. Now they're getting 10. So, and the next guy's stepping up in that place because it's a tough conference as well. It was just unfortunate that, in those 3 games that we, lose high caliber players as we move forward. But we'll still be ready.
It's only been 2 games into this extensive road trip. Are you already starting to see some of the road woes from some of your players traveling?
Yeah, some of it is, for older guys, it's old hat. Let's get to the hotel. These are the things we do. you know, you find yourself as we travel more, young guys, that's where you have the problem. Hey, look, we don't wear hats inside. Hey, take your headsets off. So you find more policing of trying to teach them how to travel, you know, which is good and bad. But the key is once we get to any town, and because of the way that we play our home games, you know, we stay at hotels, so a lot of the things they're already accustomed to. So it's not, you know, too much that's going to get them rattled for us to travel. It's just, you know, a new city, a new opportunity.
Coach, what kind of Grambling is quite a lot like you guys. Played a lot of tough opponents starting out and took a couple of losses. What is something that you see that you think Grambling does well that might pose problems for you on Saturday?
You know, again, defensively, they stunt off the front, you know, which try to make you run east and west, and they have a lot of team speed to run you down in those areas. Very athletic on the offensive side. Right now, they're playing about 12 different receivers. They're playing 2 quarterbacks, so you know they have some weapons. And the key with it is, you know, they're Grambling. They're going to do what they do. They're going to stretch the field vertically on the offensive side. They're going to try to stunt off your front and run you down on the defensive side. So you have to find a way to combat it.